Hello, hello, hello.
Yo,
What it do, beautiful people?
and we back.
We are back. We are back. For not being here last week, but you know,
Sorry.
yeah, life happens. Life happens.
I feel
Um,
like whenever like one of us to say sorry, my bad, then everybody know like, dang, B must have something to do. Eli has something to do.
yeah, no, it's all good. It's all gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome everybody to episode 5 of Bear Down Breakdown podcast.
Yes, sir.
We are your co-hosts. My name is Eli.
And I am Bruce.
And we are here to provide you with all content Chicago Bears. Everything you need is right here on this podcast. We keep it real.
Yes.
Um, we ain't, we're not clout chasers. We're not going to go out and give you these hot takes that make no damn sense and argue with people over Twitter for nothing and waste all
Right.
this energy
Right.
doing all this nonsense. Now we just here to talk Bears. Hopefully, give y'all some some outside perspective of the fan base and just
Yeah.
not your typical Chicago Bears content.
Yeah.
Hopefully, is what we can provide you.
What the young
Um,
people say, keep it 100.
keep it
That's
keep
all.
it 100. Yeah,
Right.
we keep it 100 on this podcast. Always
Yeah.
have, always will, no matter what podcast we've done. Our past 85 podcasts that we had, um, we kept it 100.
85.
We change names every 2 weeks,
Right.
but
Right.
the one
Right.
thing we try to
Yeah.
stay consistent with is keeping it 100. That's all that
That's it.
matters.
That's all. That's all. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
Shout out to the day ones that's been with us.
Yeah, yeah, y'all. I aspire to have faith like y'all, and
Right.
and
Good word.
and commitment. That is one committed fan base.
Yeah,
Anyway, speaking of committed fan bases, we are fans of the Chicago Bears. If you
we are.
cannot tell, as we
We
are
are.
hosting this podcast, and we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to discuss this Tevin Jenkins drama that just the news kind of just broke actually a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Shout out to David Kaplan, who
Mhm.
kind of broke a little Tevin Jenkins news, and a lot of people didn't want to believe it, but some more news regarding that broke today from Ian Rappaport, so it's real.
Right. Right.
And then I found this Athletic article, article written on the Athletic. It's basically a Bears fan survey, and they ask a bunch of just kind of general questions about where the Bears fans are regarding the 2022 Chicago Bears.
Mhm.
And Bruce, I'm just going to ask you the question. I'm going to give you the list of answers that they provided, and I want to ask you what you think the fans voted on in
Okay.
terms of the highest percentage vote for each question. But
Cool.
before we get into all that, B, I want to ask you, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. Just life. Like life happens, right? Like life comes at you real quick, right? And I just feel like
Yeah.
and bro, like I think what we're trying to build here is a beautiful thing. Like we've been at this. People don't realize like we've been at this for a while now. And so it's easy for us to like take breaks, come back, and the flow is still there. But man, I just like life just happens, bro. And we've both been patient with one another because we both realized like we can't do this. Like I can't have another co-host. You can't have another co-host. So we literally like just deal with life stuff, and we're both respectful of everything that happens in our life. But right now, man, everything is good, bro. Everything is good. I ain't got no complaints. Because if you complain, nobody's gonna listen to you anyway. So you got to just get up and just keep going, right? Like nobody. I just feel like the older you get, people just like oh, all right. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to keep going.
You survive this long.
Yeah. So you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Just keep going. Keep pressing through.
Keep grinding.
Yeah, keep grinding. Yeah, but nah, I'm good, man. I can't complain.
Good.
Rest in peace to Bill Russell. I know this is not a We don't talk basketball, but man, I just gotta acknowledge one of the legends, man. The I feel like he just paved the way for so many of what we see, just culturally, just far as the things that he had to endure, man. And I don't want to get too much into it, but you got to be living under a rock if you don't know who Bill Russell is. And he just passed away yesterday, 88 years old. Just an icon, not just what he did for the Celtics. You know, we know about the 11 championships. We know about being the first player coach, but just what he had to endure just from a racial standpoint, just from being in Boston. Like everybody know about Boston. And we lost a good one, man. We lost a good one. So rest in peace to Bill Russell.
Yeah, for sure. Legend, icon.
Yep. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Still, you know, I feel like we talk about this every week, but this, you know, home ownership stuff, still dealing with it, man. It's like it's a new thing every week. I feel like,
Yeah.
because we had some family over yesterday, first time in a while,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't realize if you're not out every single week, like treating your backyard and gardening, not necessarily gardening, but I don't know the term of it is, but like picking out the weeds, and like if you're not doing that stuff every day,
Yeah.
it seems like your backyard gets overgrown and it looks like an apocalypse happened in your backyard.
Yeah.
And so we had some people over last night, some family.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my brothers and my father-in-law.
Yeah, that wasn't
y'all
me.
watching.
I didn't get an invite. Okay. No, go ahead. You.
I got you next time, B. I got you.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, we had some people over. We had to clean up the backyard because it was just a mess. Clean up weeds. We had to obviously mow the lawn, do some trimming, weed whacking, all that, you know, beautiful home ownership stuff.
Right.
But we didn't realize how overgrown our backyard is with spiders, bro. Spiders.
Really?
Because what we have a deck
Okay.
on the side of our house, and it's a beautiful deck. It has like this I don't know what you call it, but this like thing over the top, and then we have vines that grow over the top, so it provides like a nice shaded area and provides like a shelter when it's raining, so we're still able to be out there while it's raining. It's
Okay.
beautiful. It's beautiful greenery, but the thing that sucks about it is spiders love it.
Got you.
Love it.
Okay.
And we didn't realize how much they love it until we were out there last night and they all came out. Because you know how all spiders come out at night. They make their little web and they catch all the mosquitoes. And but I'm thankful for that part of it.
Right.
They catch all the like little bugs and they eat them. But man, every time we looked up, all of us, it was like 6 or 7 of us, we would look up and be like, oh, there's one. Oh, wait, there's another one. Oh, wait, that one's huge. Bro, it was ridiculous how many spiders we found that were literally maybe 5-6 inches above our heads. Like,
oh my God,
so many. And I need to do something about this. If anyone knows how to get rid of spiders, hit me up.
Yo, yeah.
Because we are. If they wanted to, they could kick us out of this house and they would be paying the mortgage. Because if they wanted to team up and do that, they could.
Just
probably
a gang of them. Yeah.
It's gotten ridiculous. But anyway,
you sound like, and I'm sorry, we could just let me say, you sound like a real homeowner. Like you just notice stuff like that. Like, man, we just got just a bunch of damn spiders in this in my patio. Like, yeah, bro, like you for real sound like a legit. And I gotta find something. To get rid of these little things because they just drive me crazy. Yeah, bro, I hear you, man.
It's ridiculous. It's stuff that you don't think about. You don't think about your home getting overgrown with spiders.
You don't. It's the most dumbest things, right? Yeah. Let me put a bug zapper in front of my garage. So anytime I'm barbecuing, you just think about that stuff. It's the craziest thing, man.
Yeah, I invested like $150 on bug repellent, and it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Anyway, enough about stuff that people don't care about.
Yeah, sorry guys, we just venting. We're venting.
Yeah, I have to vent. have to vent. This is my outlet to do that because
Right.
I can't vent to my wife because she'll just tell me to shut up. Shout out to Becca. Love you.
Shout out to
Anyway, yeah, let's talk some Bears. Let's talk
Bears.
some Bears. So, as we talked about in the beginning of the show, there has been some drama. Actually, you know what? There's been a lot of drama this offseason, I feel like, with this Bears team and this new regime, which is kind of weird and interesting. And I hope it's not a precursor for what we're going to be dealing with for years to come.
Right.
But yeah, so Tevin Jenkins, our second round tackle that Ryan Pace chose last draft, the same draft that Justin Fields was picked, except we traded up to get this kid. Was highly scouted. You know, a lot of people thought he was going to go in the first round. So there's a reason why the Bears traded up to get this kid. But it also seems like there's a reason why he was starting to fall in the draft, because a lot of this stuff is kind of crazy. But just to give kind of context, so I believe it was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, Daniel Greenberg, if anyone knows Chicago sports Twitter, they follow this guy because he has all kinds of updates. He's at Shy Sports Updates. He's always tweeting about every single Chicago team out there. Doesn't matter. But he tweeted, according to the Catman, if you don't know who that is, that's David Kaplan.
Shout out to Dave Kaplan.
Dave Kaplan, he's very controversial, but he's very well known in the Chicago sports media. But according to David Kaplan, quote, there is a high level of disconnect, unquote, between offensive lineman Tevin Jenkins and the Chicago Bears coaching staff, especially with offensive line coach Chris Morgan. That was July 30th. And today, interestingly enough, Ian Rappaport tweeted, let me find the tweet here. He says, the Bears have received calls and have held trade talks centered around offensive tackle Tevin Jenkins, sources tell me, and Mike Garafolo. The former second-round pick has drawn interest based on his potential, a situation to watch. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, he has not shown up at camp to practice ever since training camp started. A lot of people were wondering where he was. They asked head coach Matt Eberflus about this, and he said that he woke up with something. That was his quote. He woke up with something, so he didn't come in. We all wake up with something.
Don't we all?
Don't we all wake up with something?
Right.
But yeah, everyone started, speculating. Was it his back? Did he wake up and throw his back out? Is it COVID? All kinds of stuff. But then once this David Kaplan rumor was released, it started to kind of make sense. But yeah, this is a lot to swallow, because obviously with Tevin Jenkins being such a recent draft pick, such a high draft pick, we traded draft capital in order to get this kid.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But Bruce, what are your thoughts on that report?
It's interesting because Tevin Jenkins might be the best from a skill standpoint. He might be the best offensive lineman that we have from a skill standpoint. But we know it's just like we always talk about, like, once you get to the NFL, it's a different monster, and your skill within itself is not going to propel you to be what your potential is. So I look at a situation like Tevin Jenkins, and it's interesting that according to, the rumor is that he's just not taking this seriously. He's not taking this job as serious as he's supposed to. So, and that comes with. And so when you hear something like that, what do you think of? No matter how skilled you are, preparation and dedication to your craft. And what sets like the Hall of Fame offensive lineman apart from everybody else is the things that we don't see on a football field. You know, you could be the biggest, you could be the most skilled, you could be the most athletic, but if you don't put in the work, then that's a problem. And it's really interesting that it's at a fact that they're willing to trade this guy. And we also have to understand that this wasn't a new regime pick. This is a pick from, from those guys who used to be here. I will not say their names on this show because you've driven this team to hell. So you will not get. I will not say their name, but that what it wasn't this new regime. It wasn't their pick. So they're looking at this guy like, you know, we didn't pick you. Like this was part of the old regime. So the one thing that I love, big picture, right? So we go out, we sign these two offensive linemen. We talked pre-show how we don't, who was it? Riley Reef
Riley
and
Reef and
and
Michael
somebody
Schofield.
else. Oh, and Schofield, right? Two veteran offensive linemen. You got our guy, who was the 5th round pick that they got last year, who actually
Jackson
started.
Jones.
Jones, right? So you got these guys, and the writing is on the wall for Jenkins, man.
Oh,
And
wait. The rookie that played last year?
that played last year, right?
Larry Borum. Sorry.
Borum, yeah, and you got Borum. So here you got, and then Matt Eberflus. He's trying to be that player coach, and he's trying to brush it off. And he's saying, we want to start the best 5 guys that we have, and he's really not giving any energy into this Jenkins situation, which is another important factor because it's just like, bro, you gotta do what you have to do. You gotta show that you want this position. And that's the one thing that I love about this coaching staff is that they're literally holding every player responsible. Like it's not just because we traded for you and you're this high pick and you're so skilled that you're penciled in. No, you have to earn it. You have to earn it. This isn't a Super Bowl team. So they're really looking for that core that they can advance with. And if you don't put in the work and it just seems like Tevin Jenkins isn't doing that, then this is what happens. This is what happened. And it keeps going, right? It keeps going like the bus keeps moving. You're not an Aaron Donald. You're not like a top tier quarterback. You could be replaced. And the Bears are showing that although we picked you 2nd round, you wasn't our pick and you're really not that important to us. Do we want you to succeed? Do we want you to be that dude for us? Of course, because the skill shows that you can be. But we're not just about to rest our laurels on that. We're not just about to say because you were a second, you were a high pick and we traded for you. We're just not going to rest on that. Like you have to show that you want it. And I don't know what Tevin Jenkins' situation is. I don't know what his problem is. We're not going to sit here and talk bad about this guy. We want him to succeed. And that's the one thing, like every player on this roster, because we want you to be successful. So I'm not about to just sit here and be like, oh, he sucks. Yeah, let's get rid of him. No, I want him to be successful, but he has to put in the work. And so far it's not looking like that. So Bears got to do what they got to do. They got to move on, right?
Yep. And honestly, it makes me love this regime even more.
Say it, bro. Yeah.
It makes me love and respect this regime even more because they are no nonsense. It's just such a breath of fresh air that they are holding these players so accountable to the point where they're just saying, oh, you don't want to put in the work. You don't want to buy in. You don't want to do what you got to do. Bye.
Cool.
Bye.
Say less. Yep.
And I feel like it's such a change from last year. And I think someone, man, I forgot who it was. I think it was maybe it was Jalen Johnson or someone, but he said that it's a complete culture shock in terms of how they're holding players accountable now compared to years before, last year or the year before that.
Yep.
And you could just tell, man. I remember the first game last year against the Rams on Sunday Night Football when Eddie Jackson and I think it was a corner. They literally let someone catch the ball, go down to the ground, didn't touch him, let him get up and score a touchdown, or he got close to scoring a touchdown, it was something like that. And I could just tell right from the jump, right from that play, how the season was going to go. I was like, oh, here we go. Yep. The Matt Nagy Bears, the Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace Bears. No accountability. They're not yelling at anyone on the sideline. They're not getting pissed. Like, you could just tell the culture
Right.
and how
Yep.
toxic and just like freelance. No one cared. They're not doing that no more.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
doing that no more. You don't want to buy in. You don't want to put in the work.
Cool.
You're gone.
You gone. Peace. Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, it's just, I'm fully behind it. I'm fully behind it.
You have to be, man. Like you can't, and that's the thing with the team within the last few years. It's just like, you, to your point, like nobody was held accountable. It was just like, oh, based on what you've done, or based on what you did last year. It just seemed like they just rested on that. And then, like, last year just got to a point where you looked at Nagy and Pace, and they were just fighting and scraping for their lives. Like they knew the writing on the wall, right? So it was almost like it was just one of those things where it was just like, all right, well, good luck. We're gonna throw our best players out there. We're not gonna hold no accountability, and we fingers crossed that we'll be successful some way, somehow. And we saw how that ended. So I love the fact that you got this new regime coming in, and they're holding everybody accountable. And I love that. And I think that's something, when you're not in a position, it's one of those things where, I hate to say it like this, but if you're not in a position to win a Super Bowl, you see what I'm saying? Like Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Donald, like those dudes, they might could get away with some stuff. Like if they don't show up, whatever, right? You look at a guy like Deebo Samuels. He held out because he wanted a new contract. He didn't show up to mini camp, but it's Deebo Samuels. Like he's earned that. It's nobody's on this roster, on this Bears roster, that has earned the fact that you can just kind of do what you want to do, call
Right.
your own shots. Nobody has earned that. So everybody has to just come up, show up to work, put the work in, be dedicated. Like you have to show that, whether you're a veteran or you're the last man on the roster. Like they're holding everybody to that standard, and that's a beautiful thing to see, man. That's a beautiful, because we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that in Chicago for a long time, especially with this football team. We haven't seen something like this in a very long time. So it's refreshing. It's refreshing to see.
Yeah. And Sam asks on Facebook, shout out Sam. He said, what was worse, the Trestman days or the later days of Nagy?
Ooh.
Man, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
In terms of like drama in the locker room, it's definitely Trestman. Because if you remember, Aaron Cromer pulling the team into a meeting and crying in front of them because he had to admit that he talked crap about Jay Cutler and all of that stuff. But in terms of just like the football team being terribly, terribly bad, I have to go with Nagy.
Definitely.
Like
with the Trestman situation, like it was talent. It was talent on those teams. Like
his first year, they had a top 5 offense.
Exactly. And it gave you hope. It was like, oh my God, look at Jay Cutler just slinging a ball everywhere to Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey and all them dudes. So like it was talent on that team. But like you said, it was just, I don't know, the leadership and just the drama was a lot. And you look. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, and I'm just saying, like, you, to your point, you look at Nagy and oh my God.
Yeah, I would. Neither of them are good head coaches, obviously.
Right. Let's preference that, right? Let's
preface
by saying that.
The fact that both of them are offensive coaches, if I had to take one of them as an offensive coach, give me Trestman all day. All day. Nagy should never, ever, ever, ever be allowed to coordinate an offense ever again.
Yeah.
Ever again.
He
just
should.
like coaching malpractice with every single quarterback that he had.
I'm not trusting Nagy to run offensive plays if we play Thanksgiving football. Just normal, my team, Bruce's team versus Eli's team. And I got Nagy. Nagy, you're not calling plays on Thanksgiving. You You could just go sit somewhere.
I
But
would rather have a 10-year-old that's played Madden for 3 years
yes,
call
give me my
plays
son. Yeah, give me my son. My son loves Madden. Shout out to
than
my son,
Madden.
Jaden. Yeah, you
Shout
know
out
what?
to
Give me
Jay.
your son. Give me your son. He can call plays.
Not even Zeke. Just
Not
I'll give
even
you
Z.
Noah, who
Yeah,
turns a year this month.
give me Noah. Give me Noah.
This
Because I
quote by
know.
this quote by Trubisky says it all, and this is
Yeah,
recent. This was, I think, yesterday or today or what?
yeah.
Maybe it was yesterday. He was interviewed, and he said, "In Chicago, they wanted me to play the coach's game. Call it whatever you will. That's just how it felt to me." End quote. That's all you got to
Mm,
know. When Mitch Trubisky is telling you that,
yeah.
that's all you
And
got to know, man.
And I know everybody's like, "Oh, yo, you guys, y'all just love Trubisky." You know what? Nope. Just come on. It's
I don't love
the
Trubisky.
reality. Yeah, yeah, you do. He was my son once upon a time.
Yeah, he was my brother for a little while, or my nephew, or whatever I called him, until he sucked booty. Anyway, yeah, this Tevin Jenkins stuff, it's pretty crazy. But we'll see where this goes. What do you think that the Bears can get for him in a trade if they were to trade him?
Maybe. It's hard because he's only played 6 games, so you literally just going off of
Potential.
So maybe a 5th.
A 5th.
I'm hoping for a 4th, but maybe a 5th.
Yeah, I would agree with
4th or
that.
5th.
I think that's pretty accurate. 4th or 5th round pick. Which at this point, if you're not going to play him, which it really doesn't seem like they are, then
Get something for him.
you get what you get. You
Yep.
get what you can get
Yep.
for that kid. Shout out to Ryan Pace for just really setting this new regime up for success.
Yeah.
Not that it's his job to set his successors up for success, but
Right.
oh my God, he left this a complete dumpster fire.
Just ridiculous, man. Oh my God, it's bad.
It's gross. And the crazy thing about Ryan Pace, and I know we're not talking about Ryan Pace, we'll move on after this, but like he didn't draft terribly, like especially the later rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at some of the later round picks, they were actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
So it amazes me how many draft picks he just wanted to give out. Like,
yeah,
why do you give up so many damn draft picks when you're actually pretty good at drafting in the 4th, 5th, 6th round? Yeah. But you just gave them all up for nothing.
Yeah.
To move up a couple of picks to take a bunch of busts. God. It's mad.
Wow. Yeah. That's bad. Yeah. Anyway. It's just bad.
Enough with this Tevin Jenkins crap. Let's move on to this Athletic article.
Okay. And
I read it. It's written by Kevin Fishbane. Shout out to Kevin Fishbane. I love his articles. He's a great writer for the Athletic. He's a good Twitter follow too.
He is
to Bears Twitter. But he wrote an article called Bears Fan Survey Results 2022. And this was written on July 19th. So this was before everyone reported the training camp, before the Bears picked up Riley Reif and Michael Schofield, before all of that. So just keep that in mind. But B, I want to read you some of these questions that they asked the fans, and I want you to tell me which option do you think that they voted on the most?
Okay.
And you can kind of give me what you would pick as well, but whether you agree or disagree. Okay, first question is, what best describes your level of confidence in the direction of the franchise? Very confident, in polls we trust. Less confident, I'm not buying what polls is selling. Or same as usual, it's still the Bears. What do you think the fans voted?
I'm going to go with the last one.
Same as usual, it's still the Bears?
Yeah.
That is correct. They voted that 63.4%.
Yep.
How would you have answered?
Man, I'm a hopeful. So I will go with the first one.
The very confident.
Yeah, very confident. Wow. I got to, man.
Interesting.
I got to. I got to give these guys a chance. And so far, what they're showing is is positive. May not result in wins. I think it's going to be a long season. So Bear fans, just it is what it is. But I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. They got a clean house. They had to clean house, and that takes time. That
Yeah.
takes time. So yeah, I'll go with the first one.
Okay.
Unlike other Bear fans.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Especially, I mean, hindsight's 2020. The moves that they made a lot of moves since this article. But yeah, I agree. I think that they at least have a direction and they have stuck in that direction, unlike
Yeah.
previous stupid regimes. Anyway, how confident are you that Justin Fields will be a star?
Mm,
Now, this is a 1 through 5. This
okay.
is 1 being not confident at all, or 5 being absolutely confident he's going to be a star. So, how confident are you that Justin Fields will be a star? So, what number do you think got the most votes between 1 through 5?
I'm gonna say 3.
3.
Yeah.
Good guess. That got 38.3% of the votes.
Mm,
But the top vote was 4. It was a
mm,
close vote. It was a close
okay.
vote. 39.7% voted for that they are pretty confident that Justin Fields is going to be a star.
Mm,
Not is he going to be good? He's going to be
right.
decent.
Right.
Is he going to be a franchise quarterback? No, he's going to be a star.
Okay. Okay.
Where would you have voted on that one?
I'm with a 4.
Oh,
I'm with a 4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This kid, man, he has it all. He has it all. Not just from and we talked about this with Tevin Jenkins, not just from a skill standpoint, but you see the work he's putting in the off season. You've heard nothing but good things from Justin Fields, from his teammates to his coaches. We've seen the videos on Twitter, and I know it's just videos, so it's nothing to get hyped about or whatever. But you just see the work that he's putting in to get better. And so when you're good and you then put work in to become better, it only sets you up for success. And so now it's ultimately up to the Bears regime to put the right pieces around him to make him even more better. Now, we've said that this year is going to be a year where Justin Fields he's just going to have to do what he has to do with what he has.
Mhm.
You don't have a Devontae Adams. You don't have that cat on your, Darnell Mooney. Okay. He cool. But we not saying like he's a top tier wide receiver yet. So
Right.
this year, Justin Fields we're gonna really see like the work that he's put in, like if it pays off, right?
Right.
Because he's just gonna have to be the man. But man, like from just this kid, man, from Ohio State to watching him, and I watched a lot of Big Ten football. I watched a lot of Ohio State football. Being a Michigan fan, I saw what he did to Michigan, and it hurt me. It hurt me really, really bad. So to see his progression from Ohio State to now, he continues to put the work in to become better. And like I said, that only sets you up for success in the future. So I definitely see a star. I definitely see a star, man. Which is only good things for us, right? Like if you got a star quarterback in this league, bro, that the future is bright for the
Yeah.
Bears. So
You always have a shot if you have a
yeah,
star quarterback.
yep,
It doesn't matter how bad your defense is, how bad your
mhm,
coaching is. If you have a star quarterback, you have a shot. So
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
I definitely hope Justin turns into that. How does your confidence in Justin Fields' potential compare with how you felt at this time last year?
Hmm.
More confident, less confident, or the same? What do you think fans voted?
I want to say more confident.
That got the second most votes at 29%, but
Okay,
most
the
votes
same.
was the same, 45.5.
Yeah, yeah,
Now you got to think this time last year. So at this time last year, Justin Fields was already told he wasn't going to start.
right,
Was
right.
already, I mean, training camp didn't start yet compared to this article, but
Yeah.
If he's not going to start, he's getting backup reps. So he's not
Mhm.
going to get the most reps.
Right.
So I find it interesting that fans voted that their confidence in him at this point last year is the same.
Mhm.
I would have voted more. I'm guessing you would have voted more too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's unfortunate what happened to this kid last year. I mean, you think about the year that he had, and not just from, and look, injuries happen in football, right? It is what it is. I'm not talking about injuries. I'm talking about the mental hurdles that he had to overcome as a
Right.
first year rookie. Because if I'm in the room and I see Hall of Famer Andy Dalton to my left and super duper Hall of Famer Nick Foles to my right, like I'm a, whatever. Like, come on, like I'm in the room with these two cats, and you got the audacity to tell me that they're better than me. Come on, really? Really, like, and we're prime. Like the Bears last year, oh, we had a roster that was ready to win the Super Bowl. So yeah, we gotta start Andy Dalton and have Foles coming. So it's just like if Justin feels what he had to go through from a mental standpoint, and then I go back to that game against Cleveland, and we all felt bad. Like I don't think it was one person, whether you were a Bear fan, a Packer fan, a Lions fan, it was not one person that did not feel bad for that kid and what he had to endure because of that crazy coaching staff. So, for me, man, I'm just like I have so much faith in this guy, but also understand Bears fans where it's just like I think most Bear fans are at a point where it's like, you just got to show me. I'm so tired of hearing about the hype and this and that. It just seems like we hear it every year. Now you have to show me. So I get why they would feel like it's the same.
Yeah, I agree. Next question. Do you trust GM Ryan Poles has the right plan for Justin Fields? Yes, no, not sure.
Not sure. Not sure. Probably got the most votes on that.
Yep,
Yeah.
48.1. It's
Yeah.
pretty decisive with that
Mhm.
one. What
Mhm.
what would you would have voted?
Again, I'm a hopeful, so I'm gonna say yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes. Um,
Yeah,
but
it's
I get
hard.
it.
It's hard. I mean, yeah, it's I get it too, but like yeah, I mean, you have to like I said this last week, but like none of us know what it takes to fully develop a quarterback, right?
Right.
None of us have seen it. None of us have experienced it. The only like examples that we can go off of is other teams.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's like you see what Ryan Poles is doing. First, you saw what he said he was going to do when he walked into the building. You see that he's completely stuck with it.
Right.
You see the contracts that he signed. You see the players that he signed. And you have to believe that next year, when we have a first round draft pick, when we have um, more cap space, you
Mm-hmm.
have to believe that he's going to fully invest in Justin Fields. And man, I remember seeing all the tweets about this guy didn't pick up any offensive linemen.
Right.
This guy, didn't do anything to help Justin Fields at all. What's going on? Does he
Right.
even believe in Justin Fields? Man, he turned what, 4 draft picks into 11,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 of those draft picks were offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
No, they weren't sexy picks. No, they weren't super high draft picks. But he's done work to bring in people on the offensive side of the football to
Right.
compete, guys that have chips on their shoulders. That says something to me. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people may not really look into that because it's not the sexy thing to do as a GM. You're not signing big names. You're not giving out big contracts. But again, you have to have the perspective that this is a rebuild year. Given the crap roster that he was
Right.
given the amount of cap space, the dead cap money that he had to get rid of, like the dude had very, 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 very little to work with, like
Agreed.
so little.
Yep. Yep.
And the fact that he's added this much roster, hungry roster,
Mm-hmm.
to the team is super impressive to me. Like to have that kind of patience as a GM, I think is very hard to do because you
Mhm.
look at the GMs in the past. You look at Ryan Pace, Phil Emery. All they did was give out a bunch of money to veterans that they didn't know if they were going to work out, or
Right.
trade all their draft picks to move up in the draft to trade a name that they didn't know if it was going to work out, sign them to long year deals, and then they end up with dead cap money down the road for players that ended up not working out. So what do you got to do?
Mhm.
You got to either release them, give them a boatload of money, or trade that guy for
Right.
crap that doesn't even get the value that you gave up for in the first place. So it's just like it was always a never ending circle of suck with those GMs.
Agreed.
This guy is
Agreed.
literally creating a high reward, low risk team. Literally,
Mhm.
the almost the entire team is built around that aspect.
Right.
And yeah, I love what he's doing. Like no one can tell me otherwise.
Yeah. The rest of you guys are wrong. He's doing a fantastic job. No, man, but to your point, like we haven't seen this. Like that's the thing about this new regime. I'm 22 years old. I've never seen. Just let that settle in. That I'm 22. I've never seen anything like
Completely went
this.
over my
Right,
head.
I saw it. That's why I had to let it settle in. You like really?
Uh,
I've never seen something like this where a new GM comes in and the way he's going about it, like I've never seen it with this Bears team. Because the thing about football, man, is just like and I think it's just this new thing in sports, period, where you have to win now. Like everybody has that pressure of just like you have to produce right away. And it's just sometimes that's not possible. That's not possible for a new GM to come in and to take. I mean, very rare do you see it. Very rare do you see it. And the fact that unless you're like Tampa Bay and you go get Tom Brady and that just, changes everything. But for the most part, it's just one of those things where you gotta be as patient as possible because even that patience is a short window. So Bears fans, I'm just hang in there. I just think the way he's going about it, we've never seen it. And so it's just like what is this? Okay, it might be the same thing. Nah, I just really feel like it's something different. I really do.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Okay, next question. What are your thoughts or what are your expectations for offensive coordinator Luke Getzey? The personnel isn't good enough. Does it matter? Nervous about a first time play caller, or he'll be the difference maker for Fields and the offense and earn a head coaching position?
Hmm.
What do you think are the most votes?
I'm gonna go with the third one.
He'll be the difference maker for Fields?
No, the one before that.
Nervous about a first time play caller?
Yeah.
Okay. That one is actually tied with he'll be the difference maker for Fields at
Mm.
23.3%. By far, the personnel isn't good enough. Does it matter? Got the most votes at
Bears fans.
53.5 results
Listen,
or percent of the votes. Yeah, that one surprised
wow.
me.
Yeah.
That one surprised me because, yeah, I mean, you can give your thoughts.
Man, I just feel like how you have a you man, I don't want to say that. Let me kind of change that up. It's like somebody that's just been scorned, and
Yeah,
no matter what happens, no matter what the change is, no matter how much you've said like, oh, we've improved, I've worked on myself, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that they will always see you as that person that you once was. And so I feel like a lot of Bears fans will just still see this Bears team as they once were. Like no matter what changes you make, no matter how much work and effort that you're putting in to be better, we're still gonna side on the caution on the side of no, this is just you're the Bears. You're gonna always be the Bears. We're gonna always talk about that 85 team as the glory years. We're gonna always talk about how we haven't had a quarterback, since Moses and he parted. No, that was Noah. Who got on the ark? That was Noah, right?
That was
Yeah,
Noah. Yeah.
that was Noah. I went to Sunday school. I went to Bible school. Um, uh, shout out to the Sunday school teachers out there. But you know what I'm saying? So they're gonna always just be negative till you can show some type of consistency in winning. So that's what's just gonna have to change these Bear fans' mind, man,
Yeah.
because it's just like, yeah, they've been scorned. And I get it, man. Look, because I feel like we've been doing this show for a long time. We've been together for a long time. So remember when, because we went through the Pace era in doing this podcast. We went through that era. When he first got hired, we were on that side where it was just like, the Bears suck and we're not going to watch them. We don't care. It's still going to, and that the first year Nagy comes in, he changes things around. We go to the playoff and it's just like next year's Super Bowl. We're back. Let's go. And then it was just like, yeah, going downhill from there. And so I get Bears fans. I get why Bears fans are so like, nah, it's the same thing because this is what we've just been endured. We've been doing this since '85. So
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought I was going to be nervous about a first-time play caller because I'm not going to lie,
me too.
I'm a little nervous about that as
Yeah,
well.
Me too.
But yeah, like I get it. Personnel definitely matters. But you don't have to have world beaters at every single position.
Right.
And I think we're going to find that out. I think a lot of Bears fans are going to find out just how much coaching matters this season. And I've said that a bunch. But when it comes to like offensive play calling, it's so intricate and it's so important to the offense's success. Like, yes, they have to execute. Yes, all 11 players have to do their job. If one player messes up, it could mess up the whole play. I get it. But teaching is key to execution and also play calling. Like play calling is an art form. It's like a choreographed dance. Every single move transition to the next move has to make sense. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to, but you get what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying makes sense.
I get you. Yeah.
It's like a story. It's like you can't go for the story can't be choppy because then you're just going to put down the book and be like, this book sucks and get a new book. Like the story has to flow in the right way to keep you entertained and to keep you reading. And it has to make sense. And that's what a play calling is like. You have to call one play to set up the next play, to then set up the next play, to then set up the next play. Like you have to be 2 steps ahead of not just the defense, but your own self almost.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
and it's exactly what Matt Nagy was not. And it's exactly what we probably haven't seen in a while here in Chicago, probably since Mark Trestman, his first year, to be honest.
I agree.
And granted, he had a boatload of talent on that team. I get it. But there have been offenses that have come into this league and has scored points with not a whole lot of world beaters on it. I don't have a stat sheet of examples, but I know what's happened.
Yeah.
I know what's happened. Like it is really hard to be as bad as the Bears have been on offense under Matt Nagy. I feel like you have to almost try to be that bad.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. I feel like, if I was an offensive coach watching the Bears, I'm just like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Because there was all kinds of problems with Matt Nagy. It wasn't just play calling. It was, personnel evaluations. He would put players out there that just didn't need to be out there.
Right.
And we were just like, what are you doing? Why aren't you? You have a better player sitting on the bench who's barely getting any snaps.
Right.
So yeah, I really think that I wouldn't necessarily say that he's going to be the difference maker for Fields, and get a head coaching position right away, but I do think Bears fans this year, especially, are really going to see how much of a difference coaching makes for an offense.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
really think we're going to see it, and I really think we're going to be, impressed. And I will say, it's not going to take much for Luke Getsy to get a head coaching position. It's not going to take much. If this offense takes a jump, and you see Justin Fields take a jump this year, we're gonna hear about Luke Getsy, getting potential interviews and stuff.
I agree.
So
I agree.
And yeah, I hope for that. I hope Luke Getsy gets a head coaching job because he turned Justin Fields into something damn good. So we'll see. Let's see. There's so many questions on here, and I don't want to go through all of them because we'd be here all day. I'm just trying to.
I'm hungry too, so.
Oh, okay.
I gotta
You haven't eaten dinner?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
No. Well, all right, y'all. It's been real. I'm gonna end the podcast right here. I'll talk to y'all next week.
Right.
Peace out.
See y'all. We want to eat. Gotta eat dinner.
No, we could put a fork in it. I mean, those were pretty much the most. This one's kind of interesting. This one's kind of. I'll just ask it real quick. If you were to buy a jersey for a curtain bear, not named Justin Fields.
Damn. Because I was about to say number 1. Let's go.
Not named Justin Fields. And you know what? I would go as far as to say not named Roquan Smith. Because that got the most votes by far.
God.
So I'm going to say not named Justin Fields, not named Roquan Smith. So you got Darnell Mooney, David Montgomery, Jaquan Brisker, Cole Kmet, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Bayless Jones, Eddie Jackson, or no one.
Okay. Who got the most votes?
So who out of those who got the most votes?
I'm gonna say either no one or Eddie Jackson.
Damn. Oh man. So Eddie Jackson actually got the least amount of votes.
Wow. Nobody likes Eddie.
Nobody likes Eddie Jackson anymore. He got 0.5% of the votes.
Wow.
No one got 5% of the votes.
Okay.
But the top vote getter outside of Roquan Smith, because he won by far, obviously.
Mooney.
Outside of Roquan was Darnell Mooney.
Okay, yeah.
At 21%.
Dang, E-Jack. Nobody like E-Jack anymore. God.
Whose jersey would you buy if you couldn't buy Roquan or Justin, but you had to spend money on a Bears jersey? You spend a cool 150 on
cool 150. Cool 150. I'm gonna have to just pocket that and just say, you know what? I'm gonna get the joint with your name here and just put like my name on the back with a number. I'm not spending $150 on this roster, man. And I can't get those two.
Not even Cole Kmet, your boy from Notre Dame.
Man, look, I'll get his Notre Dame jersey for like $19.99 at Marshalls. But I'm not. No, I can't. I'm not dropping 150, bro.
Oh damn.
Who would you get?
I think Kyler Gordon's gonna be nice.
Okay.
I would probably, if I had to, I would probably get a Kyler Gordon jersey. I really think he's gonna be a monster. But I always do that. I always end up buying a rookie jersey and then they end up not turning out.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Because I bought a Justin Fields jersey literally the second day after he was drafted. The day after he was drafted, I bought a Justin Fields jersey.
No, but that's good. That's a good. Okay, look, Justin Fields is cool. Like that's fine. But yeah. Come on, 150 for David Montgomery. He ain't gonna even be here next year. Come on, man. Come on, bro. We died. 150 for who was the other guys? We said Kmet.
Darnell Mooney, Jaquan Brisker, your boy Cole, Bayless Jones, Eddie Jackson.
Come on, bro. 150 for Bayless. Come on, man. Nah.
Oh Lord.
They gonna and then here's the crazy thing about a Bayless Jones jersey. You know, mine's gonna be like Thomas Jones. You got a throwback? You got a throwback Thomas Jones jersey? Nah, this the rookie. This the rookie. Don't nobody know Bayless. You gotta be a Bears fan for real to know Bayless Jones. People gonna be saying Thomas Jones, Roy Jones.
Roy Jones Jr.
They're gonna talk about man, you got a throwback Bears, Roy Jones. You know, people just gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, I found that interesting because it's so many Bears players on this team that I don't even know their number at this point, like let alone buying their damn jersey.
For real, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, we're gonna let y'all go and let Bruce eat because I know he's starving. I could hear his stomach grumbling on the mic.
You probably smell my breath. Pause, but I'm just saying. You know when you super hungry, like your breath got that it's a little taint. It's a little taint right now. Yeah. I'm hurting myself talking into this mic. I gotta back up. Like, whew. It's been a long day, hasn't it? Be you talked on the phone a lot.
Oh man. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you did live, we appreciate you. And if you were listening audio, we appreciate you as well. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our socials. It's going to be listed below in the description, however you're viewing or listening. But yeah. And we got merch coming. I'm wearing the shirt right now for those of y'all watching live.
Yeah.
Bear Down Breakdown. We got.
This isn't on our
That's
site.
not ours. No, but shout out to I like that shirt though. You got the Puerto Rican flag. Represent the 0.3% Puerto Rican you are.
I am.
I appreciate that.
You could tell by my eyebrows.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly, and yeah. We love y'all. Thank y'all, and hopefully we'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace.